So this morning we are here to repair some K-rend that was done, well, possibly quite badly. It's difficult to know. So the coping stones on the top there, when they were originally done, they didn't have any lead on them. So over the years, the water sunk right in behind there and basically popped it all off. Then someone re-rendered it, I'm not sure how long ago, a while back. But the customer wasn't very happy with their job, as you can see. It's not lasted very well. So we're here to cut it all back, replace it and make it look pretty. We're now going to start sheeting everything down. We've already started. We've also got bits and pieces all the way down here. There's just a little repair up there and around the back as well, so we'll be sheeting all that walkway down as well. Okay, the floor is mostly protected. So the reason, obviously this is a finished driveway, beautiful house. Everything is pristine, clean and lovely, except for this patch of rendering here. And when we cut away, we're going to angle grind around the perimeter of the damaged render, hack it off and remove it. That's going to create quite a bit of mess. So obviously protection, as I go on about it a lot, is very important. And then similarly, there's a bit that's going to be repaired that needs to be sorted out, because that's a little bit dodgy. And then there's also two small bits down there. Okay, I've marked up the perimeter where I want to angle grind, and now I'm just going to angle grind all round where I just scored. Oh, just take this out. So it's a bit faffy, just that little bit higher off the hopper. It's a bit awkward, it's a bit of a stretch. So I've decided to shoot back, get my trusty scaffold, and we will set that up, and that will make it life's a lot easier. So these little scaffold towers, they're sort of DIY scaffold towers really, but for small jobs like this, you only need to be that little bit high. Absolutely brilliant, quick, easy, light. I do have much more substantial scaffold for if we're going a bit higher, and then of course on the bigger jobs I'll get scaffold professionally fitted up. But yeah, for something like this is brilliant. section's all been removed now. You can see that was a workout. That was definitely a bit of a workout. So now we're just going to go. We've got this little bit here. We're going to get that done as well. Whilst I was doing that, Kris sorted a patch around the back as well. So now we're going to get that on. But yes, that was fun. That was. You'll see we've got the vacuum out, so we've now vacuumed it all. We've also given it all a brush to get rid of any loose debris, and then we'll be priming it all. So this is the side patch. So you'll see we've used a brick tape all around the edge, because what can happen, or what does happen I should say, when you apply render to the patch around the edges, this can be quite absorbent, and then it can fill in these gaps, and then all around your edge you'll end up with smooth flat render, which really shows up the joint. Whereas if you take the time to tape up around your edges, fill the gap, scrape it back, and then when you remove your tape at the end, it's much more seamless. Patching render's never completely seamless, but this is the best I've found. And I'll show you around here as well. So we've taped up both sides to stop any filling of these little hollers. Right, it's time to mix up the K-rend. All ready to go. Okay, so we've got 2 passes of K-rend on now, and it's this final coat that some people might struggle with. So the way K-rend works, this top coat needs to get scraped back about a good 3mm, I'd say normally, to then produce this finish. So you have to apply this final coat at least 3mm proud, ideally note 3mm plus I'd say, of the where you're going to roll it back to, which is exactly what we've done here. You can see there, we're straight over the top there, and Kris is just smoothing it off at the end there, finishing it off. And then tomorrow we're going to leave this. It's actually a reasonably cool day today, probably what, 12 degrees. It's about 4-5 p.m. so by tomorrow morning hopefully this will have firmed up nice enough and be nice and firm, ready to scratch. That is all ready to be scraped back tomorrow. Okay, so this is the next morning and it has gone off very nicely. So what you're looking for is for this to be hard, but you see there, I'm not actually trying that hard. I can still push my thumbnail in. That is spot on. That's what you want. That will allow you to scrape this back. I've just done a tiny bit there, tiny bit of tester. Scrape it all back nicely without too much elbow grease and risk of damaging it. And scraping back K-rend, there's two main tools. You want the eye rule. That will make sure everything is nice and flat. But it's initially, that's going to be too hard for the eye rule to scratch. So that's where this comes in. Oh, good old scratcheroony. So we'll scratch up with this first, just take the top layer off. And then once the top layer's been removed, it'll be soft enough to then flatten and straight off with the eye rule. With K-rend, keep tight circles. If you do big circles, you leave big old scratch lines. That's why you keep them nice and tight. Tight circles. Now had the top layer taken off there, so that is already looking more like what the K-rend, but now we're going to use the eye rule to flatten it and basically tidy it up a bit. Okay, it's now all been scraped. We are now going to put these wonderful lines in. See there? We simply use spirit levels to follow the line on, and then a scratching tool, thickness of that gap, to scrape it back. You can see those two lines are done. So what we're going to do to match this top, because we're matching it in, we're not doing this from scratch. We've got to match this existing line this side with the existing line on the other side here. You see that running along there? So to make sure, there is a chance that connecting them isn't level. It might be ever so slightly off level. So to make sure it looks right, we're going to get a string line, one without chalk on because that'll stain it, ideally. A string line, and run it from end to end, and then we'll use that line as a guide. That is now all finished. Very important to clean up, of course. And then the patch there as well. Turned out to be a lovely day.